AGUA Special Utility District. This is 6:09. It's our regular meeting for June 5th, 6 o'clock. Call to order. Roll call. Dr. Adriana Villarreal. She's absent. Jose Luis Ochoa Jr.
Present.
Ricardo Perez.
Here.
Homero Tijerina.
Here.
Ana Maria Perez.
Here.
And Narciso Solis.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum. 1B, invocation.
Heavenly Father, as we gather today to conduct matters of business for AGUA SUD, may you give us your guidance, wisdom, and knowledge to make the best decisions for the ratepayers and employees. Lord, let this meeting be productive and let your peace surround us. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
1C, Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
One D, public comments. Mr. Salinas.
Madam President, we do not have any public comments.
Okay. 2, minutes. Approval of minutes for the April 3rd, 2023 AGUA board meeting.
So move.
Okay.
Second.
I have Mr. Tijerina with a motion and Mr. Perez with a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone approve? Anybody disapprove? Okay. 3, item 3, discussion and possible action on non-standard service agreement for water and wastewater service to be submitted to Palmview Municipal Development District for the cost related to water and wastewater service for the City of Palmview Main Street Development Subdivision.
Madam President, just so that the record's clear on number 2A, the vote did approve it, but you did not state on the record that it passed and the minutes were approved.
Oh,
So
sorry.
just so the record's clear, if we can.
For the record,
Motion passes.
I make a motion to,
For the motion passed.
for the motion passed, yeah. Oh, for number 3,
Yes, Madam President, we have M2 Engineering
okay.
that will be summarizing the item.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. This here is for the subdivision located on the south side of West Veterans Boulevard, approximately 1,100 feet east of Bensten Palm Road within the City of Palmview. The project consists of 7 commercial lots. This subdivision has been modeled and we recommend approval.
So move.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Tijerina and a second by Ms. Ana Maria Perez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any disapprove? Motion carries. Item number 4, discussion and possible action on a non-standard service agreement for water and wastewater service to be submitted to Mr. Jorge Garza and Mrs. Rita Trevino for the cost related to water and wastewater service for the Palma Vista subdivision.
This property here consists of 1 commercial lot subdivision, and it's located on the south side of Interstate Highway number 2, Expressway 83, approximately 440 feet west of Minnesota Road within the City of Palmview. It has also been modeled and recommend approval.
So move.
Second.
Okay, so I have a motion by Mr. Tijerina and a second by Ms. Ana Maria Perez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody disapprove? Motion carries. Item number 5, discussion and possible action on authorizing general manager to solicit requests for qualifications for engineering services.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, we're requesting to solicit for bids to go through the RFQ process, and this is for any engineering project that we might come up into. Basically, this will go through the RFQ committee for review, and then will be brought back to the board for approval. Then, of course, we're gonna go through the advertisement process, and then we'll get the packages, we'll go through the RFQ review, and then we'll bring it back to the board for approval so that we can have a pool of engineers for the next 2 years.
So
for
moved.
use.
Okay. So we have motion by Ms.
Second.
Ana Maria Perez and a second by Mr. Perez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, General Manager's Report. 7A, April financials. Oh, I'm sorry. Discussion, item number 6, discussion and possible action on appointment of advisory committee pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 395.058 as required to review and evaluate and update the impact fees charged by the district.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, the CIP and the land use agreement, it's going on, it's still on the works. I know that M2 Engineering and Mr. Capex with Mr. Jeff Snowden with Capex, they're working on the capital improvement plan and the land use for those projects. So basically, this item is for the board to recommend or appoint an advisory committee so that we can discuss basically the CIP, the impact fees that are gonna be recommended, and the land use for our CCM boundary. So basically, I know that the board has gone through this in the past, in 2012, 2016, and 2021. So basically, we're seeking an advisory committee so that we can present to that advisory committee so that we can go through the process to update the impact fees. Basically, Milo, you're at probably 95% complete with the CIP.
Yeah, the only thing that's pending is the last section's cost estimates from the line that's going to be on Palmview going to City of Sullivan.
Okay.
And the other water line that was on Exeter.
On the north side. Okay.
That's all that's pending, and then following up with CapEx on the impact amount.
So basically, I mean, we would like to have probably a meeting late this month, if anything, with the new advisory committee. So we're seeking the board's input to appoint an advisory committee, and it'll consist of, I believe, 5 committee members. That's what I have shown in the past 3 committees. So basically, this is an item for the board to recommend committee members for the
Okay.
impact fee.
Well, I make a motion to,
Yeah, so move.
so move.
We would like to recommendation.
Yeah, I have here a recommendation of,
Recommend already?
yeah, I have a recommendation of 5 individuals. See what the board thinks. Mr. John Womack, Everardo Villarreal, Saul Maldonado, Laura Macias, and Mr. Carlos Leal.
So move.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Narciso Solis. I have a second by Mr. Arnold Ochoa. Oh my goodness, by Mr. Jose Luis Ochoa, perdón. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No? Okay, motion carries. Any questions? No questions? Okay. Item number 7, General Manager's Report. 7A, April financials, Mr. Salinas?
Yes, Madam President, we have with us Mr. Jaime Reina. He's going to summarize the April financials.
Yes, Board, these financial statements are as of April 30th, 2023. If you could please turn your attention to the Statement of Revenues, Expenses, and Changes in Net Position. On the top left, you'll see that April is 33% of the year. Our total operating revenues are at 32%, 1% behind. Our total operating expenses are at 32%, also 1% behind. But overall, we're in line with the budget. I'd also like to point out that in this month, we made the final payment on our 5-year vehicle lease purchase agreement, and we also made payment on the smart meters.
where's the payment for the smart meter?
It'll be in the non-operating revenues expenses section. It's in the interest and principal payments. It's all bundled up there.
Um, What was that total?
In total, it was 537,000.
537, I don't see it.
It's part of the 48 and 186 interest expense principal payments on the statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in the position. It's also the vehicle lease payments are also
Oh, okay.
included in there, right?
Oh.
Right.
Page 3 of the package?
Yeah, pretty
Principal payments and interest expense,
Yes,
combine those two together?
yes,
Wasn't it more than 488?
yes. The 48 and 186.
So the 488 was for the meters?
Yes, it's for the vehicles, the principal portion, and for the meters. The interest, we've made some bond payments, the interest portion of that earlier in the year in February. So that's the total of 186, but also the interest portion of the meters and the vehicles. That's how much we've paid as of the end of April.
When do we get the savings?
The savings?
The total for the savings? Like on average?
That's still on litigation.
Yeah,
That's still on litigation. That's one of the.
that's something we can discuss during executive.
Oh, okay.
session.
So basically, just to point out, the vehicle lease, this is the last payment we're gonna make
Yes.
this year. So, of course, all the vehicles now will belong to
To
technically to our SUD.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
So the lease will be, it's over.
It's been paid off,
Been
right?
paid off.
We've taken ownership of the titles for the
Okay.
vehicles. Right.
So after 5 years, they were paid off?
Yes.
Oof. And what kind of shape are they in right now? Pretty decent?
They're still decent. We will need to go out for a new lease, for vehicles or purchase vehicles this next year, yes.
How many of them were they?
It was 12 vehicles,
12?
12 different types of trucks, but 12 in total.
Yeah, and we have other older models
Also,
than those 12, yes.
I would also recommend maybe if we get new stickers or for the trucks, I know they're kind of faded and we'll see them, and I'm not sure on the old ones if we want to invest in that, but just so it's visible.
Okay, we'll do.
Yes. Any further questions? Okay, 7B, Senate Bill 1188 regarding the amendment to district enabling legislation. Mr. Salinas?
Yes, Madam President, just to update the board, the bill, of course, was signed by the Senate, May 25th, and it was signed by the House, May 26th, and now it's at the governor's, desk, for signature. So that's the only thing pending on that, bill. 1188, so just to give the board an update, that's where we're at on that, and it's just a matter of time when the governor will sign the bill, and it'll take,
Have they
become
concluded
law.
special session? They have, right?
I think they're planning on calling a second.
Second one,
Yeah. I think they did, the House, concluded their session, I think the Senate did too, but I think the Senate is staying in session because they have to do the trial for the
Ken
AG.
Paxton, yeah.
Any further questions on 7B? Okay. Now, moving to item number 8, the district engineer's report, 8A, NatBank Technical Assistance Agreement, sewer hookups. Mr. Salinas?
Yes, Madam President, M2 engineer will be passing on a summary of all engineers' report, and he'll summarize them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, item 8A, which is the NatBank Yard Line project, construction-wise, we're at the same point we were last month, but we've been working on reconciling quantities. We've completed that. We're working on the as-bills, and we're also working on a change order to reconcile those quantities. And so I provided a draft of that change order to kind of provide an update of where we're at with this. So if you go to this sheet right here, this change order number 5, it's a draft, and what we have is item number 1 is a decrease of 149 service connections, which is a total decrease of $439,871 with 77 cents, and this is basically due to the area G1 where basically the main lines were not completed and were not accepted. Item number 2, a deduct of $42,080. This, I don't know if you remember, but on change order number 2, we had done a change order at $575 each, where the contractor had to remobilize and go back to homes to make those connections. Well, there's 52 that were left over, and so basically we're decreasing that to zero out. Item number 3, this is an item, I wanted to point out on there that this is an item that the contractor feels that they're requesting due to basically a portion of the project being terminated based on convenience, and they're claiming on Article 15.03 that there's some cost associated with basically overhead, administration, payment and performance bonds, and they have a breakdown, which is this sheet right here that has some marks on there. We included those marks on there because the quantities that they had on there were not correct. That's an item that we're going to be discussing with NatBank on Thursday, and that I kind of briefly mentioned to Mr. Roberto here. So that, from these $55,175, NatBank has said verbally that that would not be covered through the grant. So if it is approved, then it would probably be from our SUD funds. The following item number 4, $29,350 is an increase, and this is for 7 homes that are pending to be connected that have either stamped concrete, one has batting cages, others have the septic tanks are under a home or under concrete, and so the contractor is requesting additional costs for those. And NatBank has also mentioned that they would not cover those because that's additional, it's too expensive per connection. So they said basically if it is approved that it would have to be through our SUD funds, and they said it should be something that's covered by the homeowner, which I don't know if that would happen or not. So we included all this on here just to kind of provide an update. This will be discussed on Thursday, and overall, if it were to be approved, it is a total deduct of $452,601 on the deduct part, and then an additional of $85,000. So overall, it would be around $378,000 around there. So
This funding can be used for the next phase? Or no?
Yes.
The funding that is left over?
The funding that's left over can be shifted over into the other phase, but they don't. My discussion with Carlos, they don't. He says EPA wouldn't cover anything if it wasn't connected, which is the 55,000, and then on the 29,000, he feels it's not feasible to make those connections.
Have these
I
change
just-
orders have they gone through Chapman, Jeff here?
No, this is through the yard line project with Morwell.
Okay, but it doesn't affect the litigation?
Now, there is a portion on there that we are including and that we're going to include with the reports that we're going to be doing for the televising, because there's also within those numbers of the 439,000, a portion of them are on the OG side, a portion of them are on the LNG side. So we have those broken down on a spreadsheet that we're gonna be providing to Mr. Chapman.
All right, I would advise, before we approve the change orders, since it might affect the litigation, it needs to go through the lead counsel on the litigation.
Yeah, especially the 55,000, that's addition. The rest is mainly a decrease, because they're not able to do the work.
Okay.
This doesn't include price increase on the pipes?
We didn't include that until the last one because there's approximately 25 connections, including the 7. And so I'd rather do one final one that includes that. I thought about including it, but since there's still some connections to have the correct amount, we'd have to get those 25 completed.
Now, what was the estimated amount prior?
I don't have those numbers with me, but I can get back to you on that. So that's the status update that we have for the NatBank project.
What is attorney's fees for work terminated in G1 service, like that one that says 27,000? What does that entail?
Which one?
On the,
Change orders.
yeah,
Number
5,
4, on the description, that's the one, right, the 27,475
it says attorney fees for work terminated in G1 service area. Is that the one, litigation?
But I think it falls under the one underneath, admin fees for work terminated.
Yeah, so that's the total,
Okay.
the $55,175, that's the total amount that they're saying due to the suspension of work and termination for the G1 service area, and then other work that was removed in the LNG area
Okay.
and the OG area.
So
And
that's
the
because of
164, those numbers vary from refusals, commercial that were not eligible, and so those items they should not be on there. That's still something that we need to discuss with the contractor. So these numbers are not final, but it's basically a draft. I just wanted to show everyone that what we're working on.
There's gonna be coming out of the grant, they want us to pay that, it doesn't cover that.
Yes, and that's what I kind of wanted to include, to kind of notify the board that what's being reduced is being reduced and could be used on the other project, but what's being added, NatBank has already mentioned verbally that wouldn't be covered through the grant.
And it's something that we need to pay, or something they just added on? It's not because work has not been done, they just came up with it.
So, if you ask my opinion on some of these, like whatever was in service area G1, I definitely think that there's, some time that was taken by the contractor to try to get to the point to get it connected, and loss of time because they're not able to do those connections. But on the 164, there's some that from those 164, we have a list that we need to break down with them that include commercial and empty lots, so that should not be included on there. If it's a refusal where they went several times to try and get a right of entry form, then I could understand that there was some time invested there, but that number needs to get lowered.
Or take it out.
Or take it out.
Or take it away.
Yeah. Any other questions on item 8A? 8B, Mendiola Water Storage Tank Project. The design team started submitting project closeout documents. They submitted a substantial completion letter for the pumps, tank, control panel, and SCADA system. They provided a 1-year warranty letter for the pumps, tanks, control panel, SCADA system from the start of service, and it's dated September 1st, 2021, and expired on August 31st, 2022, and then provided a 1-year warranty letter for everything else pertaining to the project that excludes the pumps, tanks, and control panel, and that one started March 20, 2023, and expires March 19, 2024. Remaining items for project closeout are red line plans identifying the conduit requested for replacement or credit from the project engineer, spare parts, O&M manual, as-built drawings, affidavit of bills paid, project engineer certification of completion, and then a final pay request. Those are the items that are pending and that they need to be working on to get closed out. On item 8C, the Palmview Texas Water Development Board Sanitary Sewer Improvements Project. Right now, we received the final televising of the section from Minnesota Road to EB Reina. The final section was provided Thursday of last week. So in these next 2 weeks, we should be finalizing our report to provide to Mr. Chapman. And that's pretty much the status that we have on that project. Item 8D, capital improvement plan. We're 95% complete, pending some cost estimates on two water lines and coordination with CapEx to finalize. And as Mr. Salinas was mentioning, meeting with the committee to get those impact fees completed and finalized. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Bella. Any further questions? Okay, moving forward, item 9, executive session. So, as provided by the Texas Opening Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Sections 551.071.091, the Board of Directors may convene in a closed executive session to deliberate, discuss, or consult regarding the matters listed below on proper motion and approval of any of the items set forth above. Under the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Sections 551.071, consultation with attorney. A, cost number C-3353-20-I, SMB Infrastructure versus AGUA Special Utility District, and the District Court of Hidalgo County, Texas, 398th Judicial District. B, Performance Services, Inc. litigation. C, Senate Bill 1188 regarding the amendment to district enabling legislation. D, the Mendiola Water Storage Tank Project. E, service capacity limitations and pending applications. I need a motion to go into executive at 6:37 p.m.
So moved.
Have a motion by Mr. Tijerina and a second by Mr. Solis. All in favor say aye.
All right.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.